Today is a WAFF 48 First Alert Weather Day. Sponsored by Mr. Electric, your area expert for home Generac generators.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for our streaming version of our 4 p.m. newscast. I'm Margot Gray.
And I'm Nolan Crane, in today for Liz. Today, a First Alert Weather Day due to the rainy and windy conditions all across the Tennessee Valley. Brad, after the past several days of extreme heat, it was good to get some rain, but not the severe weather.
Yeah, we kind of had that out for, first and foremost, the bad air quality we had today, but that's been washed out. But we always had the threat for some stronger storms today. We thought the ones in the afternoon would be a little stronger than what we had this morning. Right around noon, areas of storms slammed northeast Alabama. Currently, we have a strong thunderstorm in and around just southeast of Fayetteville, moving towards Winchester and Huntland. That one's tracking towards Princeton, should be there in about 30 minutes. Skyline around 439, and we continue to monitor that as everything tracks off to the east. A closer view, this storm also has a lot of lightning with it, but at some point this is going to run into some of this rain-cooled air. But notice the areas in and around Russellville where the heat index currently 108, 103 in Moulton. Those are the areas we're going to continue to monitor as we see the potential for some stronger storms. Here's the timeline between now and 6 p.m. in orange. That includes the Huntsville metro area on down just on the north side of Smith Lake, and then 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. all other areas. Primary concerns outside of the lightning and heavy rain is going to be the isolated damaging wind factor. We'll talk more about this coming up.
A surge of afternoon storms has impacted a large portion of our viewing area.
Absolutely, and we are seeing reports of heavy damage in Marshall County. Let's go out to WAFF 48. Savannah Sapp live near Grant. Savannah, you've been chasing damage all afternoon in that area. What have you seen so far?
Well, Margaret, right now I'm standing at the Honeycomb boat ramp that's just off of 431 near Grant. Behind me, many crews are working on some down power lines in the area. And if I pan just to my left over here, you can see there are quite a few trees down around me, but this area is not the only place that has been affected by these afternoon storms. On my way here, I spotted power lines down near 431 and a lake house with major damage during this afternoon storms. Also, 3 boat houses have been destroyed in the Mirror Lake subdivision. These are photos from the Marshall County Sheriff's Office of just some of that damage. I'm also told by deputies that there are many trees down on White Elephant Road. That's off of Cathedral Caverns Highway. Deputies are asking people to avoid the area at this time as they work to clear the roadway. Now, we have checked in with the Marshall County Emergency Management Agency. Director Blake Farmer tells me that there are no injuries to report at this time, but he did say that this area of 431 near Grant was hit the hardest during these afternoon storms. But we'll keep you up to date on the damage later on this evening. For now, reporting live in Marshall County, Savannah Sapp, 48 News, on your side.
Speaking of storm damage over in Morgan County, today's strong storms knocked down this massive tree in the Somerville area. This is a look at the massive tree near Friendship Road. Luckily, no one was injured and the home nearby is not damaged.
All new at 4, cleanup just beginning after a house fire in the Shoals. Take a look. Florence Fire Chief Tim Anerton says crews were called to Wheaton Drive at 10:30 this morning. When crews arrived, they saw flames near the roof of that house. Authorities say 3 people were inside at the time and were completely unaware of the fire. A neighbor actually alerted them and everyone was able to get out safely. You can see that house sustained severe damage. The Red Cross has been called in to help the family.
Also new at 4, a Phil Campbell woman is behind bars in connection to an accidental shooting where an 8-year-old boy was killed. Kimberly Boykin is now being charged with criminally negligent homicide. Franklin County deputies believe she left a loaded gun in an area where a child could reach it. Investigators say this is all tied to a shooting in the Gravel Hill community last year where a 4-year-old child reportedly picked up that loaded gun, then shot an 8-year-old. The child was rushed to the hospital but later died. Boykin is being held in the Franklin County Jail without bond.
Now to new details on charges against a Huntsville man indicted in a money laundering conspiracy tied to a sextortion scheme.
Federal prosecutors brought the charges against Dennis Moore Robinson of Huntsville and 4 other co-defendants. Prosecutors say the alleged scheme resulted in a 17-year-old's death in Michigan. WAFF 48's Callie Neese joins us live in Huntsville. Callie, today you talked with federal prosecutors about this arrest.
I spoke with U.S. Attorney's Office in Grand Rapids, Michigan about an hour ago. Prosecutors said in a statement that Densmore Robinson, along with 4 other men, faced a judge for the first time yesterday. Court records show that prosecutors believe Robinson is a Huntsville resident and a middleman for a Nigerian sextortion money laundering scheme. He's accused of collecting money from kids and transferring it to a person they called the Plug. The Plug would transfer the money into Bitcoin and send it overseas. This is the same group connected to a case where a 17-year-old from Michigan took his own life 2 years ago because of these sextortion threats.
These individuals, we allege, facilitated this sextortion scheme by receiving payments from the victims and transferring the money to Nigeria, ultimately to those carrying out the scheme that resulted in the death of Jordan DeMay and victimized many others.
We're still working to find out more information about Robinson, and we will keep you updated as we get that information. Coming up at 5, I spoke with leaders from the National Children's Advocacy Center about the sextortion epidemic. Reporting live in Huntsville, Cali News 48 News on your side.
Now to Morgan County, where 5 people tied to a murder-for-hire plot appeared in court ahead of their trial dates. Take a look at this exclusive video you will only find right here on WAFF 48. These 5 people, Logan Delp, Jacqueline Scoose, Howard Carter, LeJohn Smart, and Angela Stoltz, are all accused of participating in the 2020 murder-for-hire plot where Anthony Shepard was killed. Shepard was found dead inside his home the day he was supposed to head to court to hash out custody issues. The suspects were all in court today for a status hearing, and they will all head to trial in October.
A Limestone Corrections Facility security guard is facing charges accused of promoting prison contraband. Officials with the Alabama Department of Corrections say this woman right here, Monica Blakeney, was arrested Wednesday for the contraband. She's accused of trying to get methamphetamines into the prison. She was arrested and booked into the Limestone County Jail. She's since been released on bond. Blakeney has also resigned from her position.
Now to a 48 News update. 2 people are facing charges tied to the discovery of a woman's body in Florence. Deputies say these 2, Jennifer and Justin McCain, are facing abuse of a corpse charges in connection to that discovery. Investigators say the deputies were called to the McCain's home on Betsy Ross Lane after a 60-year-old woman's body was found. They say the 60-year-old was an acquaintance of the married couple. When officers arrived, they noticed the body had been moved from one place to another on the property. Officers say the body shows no signs of foul play or trauma.
Later on in the day, when they re-interviewed the people that had called, they gave the story of moving the deceased and from inside the house out to the detached garage, and also there was a large window of about 5 to 7 hours before anybody called.
Court records also show Justin McCain was previously charged with unlawful possession of a controlled substance. He is set to go to court on those charges later this month.
Over in Morgan County, a murder suspect appeared before a judge for a mental evaluation. The evaluation of Bobby Hamlin comes following his 2020 arrest. He's accused of shooting and killing his roommate, David McCluskey. His body was later discovered floating in the Tennessee River. Hamlin was arrested and charged with his murder. We are still waiting on those results for the evaluation. Of course, we'll update you when we learn more. And we now know the name of a teen killed in a wreck on Highway 72 in Limestone County. State troopers say 19-year-old Sidney Hamilton died after crashing his motorcycle into a car near Elk River Park Road. Investigators say he was thrown from that motorcycle and killed. The driver of the other car, Terry Albright, was also injured. He was taken on to Athens Limestone Hospital for treatment. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
We are working to get information regarding a wreck in Limestone County from earlier today on Highway 31 at Executive Drive. Take a look at your screen and you'll be able to see a car with serious damage. No word on how the driver is doing, but we will keep you updated. Limestone County students are back in the classroom today. They're one of a few school systems that started the new school year this week, joining Huntsville City, Madison City, and Madison County schools who went back yesterday. Florence City and Muscle Shoals City will be going back on Monday. For a full list of start dates, just head on over to our website, WAFF.com.
Meantime, students with college aspirations could continue to be impacted by financial aid issues.
The Department of Education announced this week that colleges won't be able to submit corrections to update students' financial aid records in bulk, which impacts a lot of students across the country as well as right here in the Valley. WAFF 48's Daquan Lee joins us live from the campus of Oakwood University in Huntsville. Daquan, colleges and universities are doing what they can to prepare for this year's rollout.
Nolan, FAFSA has been riddled with issues that have kept students from knowing just how much they'll be paying for their college education. And colleges know that, which is why they're trying to streamline any issues they may face. Now, the rollout for the free application for federal student aid's new website last year has led to a plethora of problems. For months, students have been left in the dark over long stretches, waiting to see how much they would receive in financial aid. And this latest issue compounds the problem. Dr. Neil Scott, Vice Chancellor of Student Success for the Alabama Community College System, says state colleges have been preparing for more potential issues. Some colleges have extended their office hours so students can receive the help they need.
We are hopeful that come October, when it's time for students to complete the FAFSA, that there will be less confusion, that students will know what it is that they need to do, and that any of the mistakes that was made in the rollout will be corrected by that time.
Now, the Department of Education also said they would be offering help to colleges as they try to right the ship and get students their financial aid. Reporting live in Huntsville, Daquan Lee, 48 on your side.
All right, thank you, Daquan. Senator Katie Britt is pushing to secure $3 million for the University of North Alabama. The senator submitted legislation to secure funds to expand the school's Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurial Studies. The senator also says the impacts of the center will reach far outside the Shoals, helping grow the economy of North Alabama. The legislation was advanced by the Senate Appropriations Committee and now awaits a full vote from the Senate. Still ahead, your weekend might be filled with dinner plans, but before you make those reservations, stick around because we have the Kitchen Cops report next.
Plus, we've all been watching the Olympics. Coming up, hear from a local trainer who's training the best of the best. Hundreds of athletes are competing right now in Paris, hoping to win gold. A man in the Shoals is rooting for several athletes in these games that he knows personally. Okay, so Keith Hurston from Green Hill has helped coach 5 Olympians currently competing. WAFF 48's Aria Pons joins us live in Green Hill, where it all began for Keith Hurston. Aria.
Green Hill is a small community where everyone knows practically everyone else, and Keith Hurston started his track career right here at Rogers High School, then went on to the University of Alabama. Since then, though, he has coached at several big universities in the South and sent several Olympians to both the Rio Olympics and now the Paris Olympics. He's currently a coach at Texas Tech University, and he really specializes in jumps and multi-events. He has 2 Olympians in the long jump, 1 in the triple jump, 1 in the high jump, and 1 in pole vault. Hurston graduated from Rogers High School in 2002 after he helped the track team be the state runner-ups in Class 3A track and field. He says it's amazing to be from a small community and work your way up. He added that all anyone really needs to do to achieve their dreams is to believe in themselves and work hard.
Give everything you got towards a purpose. For me, it's about helping people. I love the sport. I love athletics, and I love helping people and seeing people develop and grow. And that's exactly what this sport is. And in most sports, teachers, same thing. But whatever it is that young people are, set their mind to, whether it be coaching or anything else, whatever your passion may be, go at it 110%.
I also spoke with his high school track coach, the one that Hurston says started his love for this sport. More on that coming up at 5. Reporting live in Green Hill, Aria Pons, 48 on your side.
Well, you know that sound. The Kitchen Cop scores for the last week of July are in, and things don't look so bad for once.
That is some good news. We only had 1 bad score in Madison County, none in Lauderdale, Limestone, or DeKalb County, so reason to celebrate and clap.
Yes.
The majority of issues were in Morgan County, especially at gas stations. The lowest score this week is at the Lions Pride Exxon on Main Street in Hartselle. It has a 70 due to employees being unfamiliar with safety testing equipment. There was also no towels or hand drying machine at the sink, unlabeled spray bottles, chemicals stored above cups, and mold in the soda nozzles.
All right, so next up is Tommy's at Woodall Road and Highway 24 in Decatur. It gets a 74 because it had chemicals not properly stored, multiple food temperature issues, and no food thermometer. The McDonald's at Woodall and Highway 20 in Decatur got a 78 this week. There was no sanitizer in the dishwasher, dairy products at the wrong temperature, and again, chemicals not stored properly. And then the only low score in Madison County is at the Chevron on Meridian Street. It gets an 81 because of dirty soda nozzles, multiple food temperature problems, and an employee seen cooking food without washing their hands after handling the trash.
And we saw a lot of problems at gas stations this week, but here are 3 mini marts who received high scores this week. The Sprint Mart at Highway 31 and East 4th Street in Limestone County, a 98. And J&M Market on Murphy Hill Road in Hazel Green gets a 99. And another 99 for the Conoco on 231 431 right next to Hazel Green High School. You can look at more scores right now. Just go to the 48 News app. We're covering your community in Limestone County, where dozens of people are showing off and showing up for an annual tractor parade. The Piney Chapel Tractor Parade brings dozens of community members out to catch a glimpse of these massive machines. And you can see owners of several tractors braving the rain for the Piney Chapel community. This event is a great way to celebrate local farmers while getting the community together.
Today is a WAFF 48 First Alert Weather Day. Sponsored by Mr. Electric, your area expert for home Generac generators.
Still dealing with some strong storms. This is round 2 for some of you, and this is all developing along a frontal boundary, which is going to clear things out for the weekend, cool things down just a bit. Highs around 92 tomorrow, less stifling humidity too. Let's take a look at Gunnersville right now. Got hit hard earlier today. You're kind of rain cooled at 73, and that's where you want to be as this front starts to move in. I don't think you're going to see a repeat performance from Mother Nature with that. But we do have thunderstorms out there. You notice this one here north of Newmarket, moving towards Huntland, just south of Thames Ford Lake. There's also breaks in the line here as it starts to develop and move east southeast, just to the north of Newmarket, that is. The lightning is down, and I think it's running into this rain-cooled boundary because that wind comes out of the storms. We often feel the wind coming towards us as the storms move through the area. Of course, that's the strongest wind, but there's also wind on the backside that kind of spreads out, kind of like when you throw a rock out on the lake and you get that little pool that goes across the water. That's what happens with these boundaries. I don't think you're going to have much of a chance of rain in Florence. I think the front's already moved through there, so you are going to stay dry the way it looks right now. Phil Campbell, thunderstorm developing on top of you. A much stronger storm, though, east of Hamilton. That's going to stay away from you, but that will impact areas down towards Smith Lake. Here's the current pattern setup here. Russellville still looking at a heat index at 108 right now. That will go away as that storm nearby puts out a rain-cool boundary. Still feels like 103 there in Florence, but notice the difference across the way in Fort Payne and in Albertville where it feels like 72, and that's because of what's been going on with the storms in the area. By tonight, that Saharan dust that is on the way out, moves out of the area, so it looks like a really nice summer August weekend ahead. Still an isolated shower or storm. Mostly sunny, though, tomorrow. 90 degrees for the high. 91, mostly sunny. We have dropped the chance of rain Sunday. No chance Monday either. Take a look at the satellite and radar. You can kind of see the boundary here moving to the east. That initial round of thunderstorms, still a lot of cloud cover back behind it, too. We've got a potential tropical storm developing, and it's well south of Florida. I'll have the latest track on that coming up today at 5. Here's our storm track here as this moves in from 4:30 on. A broken line of showers and storms continuing to move to the east. The thing about this is, it's model guidance. It says it's going to be 90 in Scottsboro at 5 o'clock. I don't think that's going to be the case. Same thing in Albertville, just because of the rain-cool boundary. So I don't think these storms will intensify, but they could still produce some locally heavy rain and lightning, and it's all out of here by about 7:30. That's when it starts to cross the interstate there in DeKalb County. And we have a pretty nice evening out there this Friday evening. Some of you will have a rain-cooled evening, too. Here's your forecast over the next 10 days. 90 Saturday, 91 Sunday. Then we get hot again. Stays dry. So we've got probably an entire week of dry weather, and that's good for the trash pandas, but it will be hot beginning Monday.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for our streaming version of our 4 p.m. newscast. And we will be back shortly on air with our normal 5 p.m. newscast on TV.
And to stay in the know, look for our coverage on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and YouTube. And of course, download the 48 News app for the latest around the valley. We'll see you on Channel 48 tonight at 5. Have a great day.